When you first have people over at your house, right? They come, they knock at the door, you're like, yay, they're here. Or you're like, oh no, they arrived. I found out recently there is some etiquette, some manners when it comes to arrival times. In the past, if someone said arrive at 5 p.m., that would actually mean 10 past, 5:10, maybe 5:15. If you arrived, at 5 p.m., people would be like, you're here early. And they'd be like, but the invitation said 5 p.m. Read between the lines, you imbecile. That's not what that meant. I wrote 5 p.m., but obviously that means 5:15. Now, Gen Y and Gen Z came along and they were like, this makes no sense to me. I didn't finish school properly. I spent the time learning 7 different ways of executing long division instead of basic logic. I'm a millennial. I can poop on my own generation's cusper even. But we came along and we're like, no, if you say 5 p.m., that means 5 p.m. So the current etiquette is if someone says 5 p.m., what they mean is 5 p.m. That's when you show up. And someone will show up at the door. They'll come at the time that's allocated, maybe a little bit late. Either is good. Early is bad. Just a heads up for anyone who is culturally not Australian. Never come early. Don't do that. Don't do that. People will be there and they'll be like, oh yeah, Frank has arrived. Hey Frank, have a good one. Come sit down, make yourself comfortable. And internally, in their heads, they're like, Frank is dead to me. He is never being invited again. He came 20 minutes early. 20 minutes early! I had 20 minutes to wander around without my pants on, and here's Frank. Freaking oath! I was going to do things. I had plans. I was going to write a novel. I was going to have a hot chocolate. I was going to relax a little bit. Here's freaking Frank. Dead to me. So never come early. Never come early. Just a little bit of etiquette there. Where were we? Okay. People coming to people's houses. So, when you go to someone's house or someone comes to your house, there's always that thing that you show them. And I mean, there's the typical stuff. There's like, this is the bathroom. If you want to take a shit, do it here, not on the rug in the living area. Like, you do the typical, like, walking around. This is where the cats are. This one will attack you. Don't go and pat it. Then you introduce them to the house. You tell them the rules. You get shoes at the front. Don't walk into the house with your shoes on. Those are shoes. Gerald, they're shoes. Take them off. They're not slippers. They're covered in cat piss. Take them off. There's those things, but then there's also just like that one like weird thing that you feel compelled to show off every time. Opinionated has a scorpion collection, but there's always the equivalent of that. People always have like one thing, just like one really strange thing. Like, you go to their house and you're like, oh, this is nice. I love the decor. They've got an interesting aesthetic. It's a grey or beige or natural, hippie, bohemian, whatever it is. So nice. And you're very, very entertained. And then they'll be like, oh, by the way, I breed rabbits out the back for fun. It's like, what? Where did that come from? Why? It was all normal, but then you show me the rabbit breeding like ground and I'm like, okay, you do that. Well, all right, you do that then. Enjoy. But there's always that one thing, whether it's a scorpion collection, a stamp collection, a tiny zoo. I collect phasmids. Whatever it is, someone's always got one of those, right? Magicians have all sorts of magic stuff. Some people have collections of certificates. Some people have different cookware. Like, they collect cast iron pots, which is a good sign that they may be a murderer. Not guaranteed, just a high likelihood. That's all. I'm not saying that the correlation equals causation. It could be coincidental, but there is a higher likelihood. That's all. That maybe they just really like eggs and bacon, but also did. I don't know. So there's all sorts of things that people collect or show or hobbies or just like a strange device. Like, I just got a Star Trek set up in my living area for no reason or whatever it is, right? And recently recently, the thing I collect, my hobby, the thing that I've been wanting to show off, that I've been bringing people into the bedroom for, it's in the bedroom. Clean your minds out. Get your minds out of the gutter. Taking people into the bedroom to show them my collection. No. Jesus. Everyone's minds went the wrong way. When I take people into the bedroom to show them the thing I want to show them, it is Uniqlo jumpers. Uniqlo jumpers. Specifically 2 of them. 2 Uniqlo jumpers. I have a jumper that I bought 2 or 3 years ago, and Patrick bought a jumper 1 year ago. And I have to say, this triggers me. So I'm just going to take a sip of tea here. I've required much validation, much external validation on this matter. What a jumper is, it's a sweater. It's like a warm, fuzzy, woolen, cashmere, whatever item of clothing that's meant to keep you nice and warm and comfortable in the winter. It is that. That is what it is. And I will bring people specifically to the bedroom, to feel the fabric of these Uniqlo sweaters. So Uniqlo is a brand. If you're wondering, Uniqlo is a brand. It doesn't matter really specifically, but in this case, it does matter because both of the jumpers, both of the sweaters are the same brand, right? Same brand. But one of them is 3 years old and one of them is like 1 year old. One of them's a little baby. The other one's a toddler now. And I'll bring people in to show them and I'll get them to feel the fabric. So my one is like a nice burgundy color, red, purple, dark, like the blood of my enemies. Oh, so soft and subtle. And it's really, really supple. That's not subtle. Again, I guess burgundy is subtle, but supple. It's so nice and it feels really nice. So I get people to touch it and I get people to manhandle my jumper. And then I ask them to do the same to Patrick's jumper. Why? Why, Mary, you weird woman? Because they are allegedly the same fabric. They are allegedly the same design. However, what does 3 years of mass production clothing bring us? Significantly shitter quality. It blows my mind. Both of these garments cost the same amount of money. They're meant to be the same design, essentially. And one of them is nice and soft, and the other one is so scratchy that you could use it to scrape that cast iron pan of yours that you use for murder. You could use it to, scrape the bacon and eggs off it. It's basically like, what's that metal stuff that people wear when they're like a knight in shining armor? That chainmail. It's basically chainmail. And I'm like, I don't understand. I don't understand. What type of sweater is a jumper? They're 2 words for the same thing, I think. I think that's what it is. 2 words for the same thing. Here, they're used pretty interchangeably. So, you must go in search of a murder pan. Steel wool. It really is. It really is. So, it just astounds me how much the quality has plummeted through the core of the earth, out the other side, into space, past all the stars in the galaxy, into a butthole void somewhere, through the black hole, away into the abyss. I don't understand. It used to be so soft and supple. It used to be so nice. I would wear it, and sometimes I would just pat my shoulder because it was so nice. And now it is scratchy. It is scratchy. The fashion out of this world in a bad way. In the bad way. From the iron sheeps. Indeed. And so begins the rant about the decline of quality of items. Because this sweater, jumper, and Uniqlo is not the only brand that brings this particular regression to the table. It seems to be relatively universal. What would cause the change in quality? This is a good question, Creativia. Now, I don't mean to bash Uniqlo, but I shall, because they are guilty on multiple fronts. I got very excited about Uniqlo. I had so many Uniqlo items in my wardrobe, and I encouraged Patrick to get the same. He got a t-shirt, cotton t-shirt, in multiple colors. So he got multiple colored cotton t-shirts, like one in navy, one in black, one in emerald, whatever it is. And these shirts were beautiful until we washed them. And then washed them a second and third time. And maybe the fourth or fifth time we were like, look at that! I'm not sure whether this was the blue one, the black one, or the emerald one, because all of them are now grey. The colour is gone. How does that even work? Even if I wanted to make a fabric that does that, I don't know how they manage it. The colour just faded away. They sound an awful lot like Happy Tell. They do indeed. Fast fashion, planned obsolescence. I mean, there is a possibility that they are just creating things so that people throw them out and buy something new. That is possible. Perhaps that's what's going on. But it is really universal. And I mean, there's many reasons it could be happening. Perhaps they're just like, grey is in. You get two shirts in one, navy and grey. You just got to wash it a few times. Magic shirts, indeed. Exactly. Such bad quality colouring. Maybe scratchy clothes are in. If you wear scratchy clothes, you can really appreciate your pajamas at night. #gratitude. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's capitalism. It's capitalism. I'm not clued in enough to rant properly about what that means, but I'm sure it's something to do with money, because that's what it probably... Money always comes down to money. Have you noticed that? Always comes down to money. And I think I know why. Because money is what you use to purchase cheesecake. And then at the end of the day, it comes down to cheesecake. But money. Back to money. This is the thing. #fast fashion. #fast fashion. You got all these companies out there that are like, how can I maximize the amount of money I make? And then you got these like people that graduated business school and they're wearing a tie and they're in a room with a whiteboard and they're walking back and forth and they're like, I got it. And then they're writing on the blackboard and it's just a giant dollar symbol and they're like, I think this is the answer. And then, you got like 7 older men in the room who can't see properly or are adjusting their glasses. And they're like, I think that's a dollar symbol. Yes, I dream about those. And they're like, sounds good. How do we go about this? And they're like, you know what? The way that we get more money is by charging them, the customers, maximum and costing ourselves the minimum. So the less that we have to pay to manufacture the items, the more money we make. The more they have to pay to purchase the items, the more money we make. So they're out there trying to create things for as little money as possible and then charge them for as much money as possible. That is capitalism, isn't it? That's the crux of it, isn't it now? That's just good business. That's how you go about things. So, real genius companies out there. My favorite is Nike. Nike's like, okay, we're going to make this premium. You know how we're going to make a premium? We're just going to do it. We're just going to do it. That's how we're going to do that. And then what's the cheapest item we can find? What's the cheapest? Air. We're going to sell air. That's right. And they did. They freaking went out there and they did. They got these sneakers and they're like, not enough of a profit margin. What should we do? Let's sell air. Nike air. You pay extra for the air. I'm pretty sure an athlete farted that out or something into the shoe. That's right. They come in on weekends. Extra shifts. They just sit in the factory. They just like sit in a specific location and they fart into the shoe. And that's why you get that extra lift when you're playing basketball or whatever it is. Exactly. like in the Lorax movie. I haven't seen the Lorax movie, but it must have been based on this real world event. But that's kind of what's happening with all of our products. Everything is just filled with athlete farts. That's it. Uniqlo, athlete farts. Nike shoes, athlete farts. Yeah, but at the end, the customers don't buy them. I mean, I'm not sure that's the case. People are still buying these things. Hell, I'm wearing Nike Airs. Well, that's embarrassing. Oh, nurse. Oh, nurse. Michael Jordan premium fart shoes coming soon. Indeed. Air Jordans. That's you know exactly where that air is coming from. The decline of quality of stuff, it's become a real thing. And it's not just fast fashion clothes. It's fast everything. Everything is fast fashion now. Have you purchased a serving spoon? Just like, you cook a beautiful dish. I don't know. It's like a roast chook or something. You put the chook in the oven. Shove the door closed, open it up. Oh, delicious. The fragrance, so nice. You take it out and you go to serve it. You get like one of those serving spoons and the top of it just falls off. And you're like, I don't understand. I bought this 2 weeks ago. This is the second time I've used it. It's like, well, there's where you went wrong. You're only meant to use it once. Everything is just falling apart now. That's how you make products. They fall apart. You got all these online websites which are selling, this like cheap shit. And if you look at it for too long, it disintegrates. So you have to be real careful with it. You've got these beautiful images and they're like angling it and they're photoshopping it like someone's face-tuned Instagram. And it's just like, I don't know, a zap string. And then you purchase it, it shows up and you're like, is this like an artistic rendering of the product? I'm not sure because if Picasso was a manufacturer, this is how this would come out. This is and that's what it is. That's what it is now. You've got I think it originally started with Amazon, then it moved to Shein or Shine, whatever that's called, and then it moved to Temu. Temu is the big one. I've never bought anything from Temu, but I see it everywhere. I can't avoid it. That dang song that I forgot the tune of, but there's a lot of orange and someone dancing. And it's all that. There's 700 of the same product with slightly varied descriptions. All of them are 73 cents. And when they arrive at your door, they may spontaneously combust. Yeah, there are items made 50 plus years ago that can still be used today. Whereas these ones, not so much. Great Balls of Lint, by the way, thank you for gifting that sub to Steel Wool Sheep. Greatly appreciated. Thank you for your wool. But yeah, nowadays, your best bet is old things that, were manufactured 50 years ago. So, I'm not telling you to go to your grandparents' house and rob them. I'm not saying that. That's not a nice thing to do. But they are vision impaired, so it wouldn't be too difficult. But you shouldn't do it because that's unethical. But you could. But don't do that. Anyway, old things. They're the only things that work nowadays. They might be slightly infected, perhaps rusted or something. It's cosmetic. Rust is technically toxic, but everything gives you cancer anyway, so it's fine. So, yeah, that's the one.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell because clicking things is fun. If you want to see the full versions of these Twitch streams, then you can on my channel, twitch.tv/MaryAmber. And if you want to catch VODs, if you've missed streams, then check out my Patreon, Ninja Club, patreon.com/MaryAmber.